DESIblitz.com.
Hi, I'm Lucky Roy Singh and you're watching me on DESIblitz.com. I didn't say anything, I carried on washing dishes. She looked around the kitchen and noticed food left over. She said, "Why is there so much food? What have you been doing? Who's been round? You don't eat pizza, why is the pizza laying there?" In her horrid tone, she jumped to her own conclusion. "So as your husband's away and your sass, your mother-in-law, is out, you decided to throw a party." She stated, screaming offensive slurs at me from whore to all sorts. I stayed quiet as I knew I hadn't done anything wrong, and last time I got a slap and still had to apologise. She grabbed me by the arm and told me to sit down on the dining table. I looked at her in horror. I placed my hands in front of my eyes as I felt she was going to slap me again. I was terrified, and the more she screamed at me, the more I couldn't speak.
Was it difficult to write your story as a book?
It was very emotional dealing with everything personally, but writing it into a diary and book format, it was more self-healing. You know, it helped me deal with quite a lot.
Yeah.
And helped me to try and say, okay, this has happened, now what? Everything that I went through was from homophobia to honour to dealing with family honour and dealing with stillbirths and abortions within the community and the shame of it all and stuff like that. So it was covering all that and mine and my ex-husband's obviously love story that occurred. It was quite torturous at the same time because you had to obviously put yourself in a position where really I shouldn't have been in the first place, kind of, if you know what I mean. Everybody deals with things, but dealing with the situation that occurred in that house was every day, and it tore shreds off me. I couldn't get any words out of my mouth. Rani, heavily pregnant, came running in the kitchen. She shouted, "Mum G, are you okay? What's wrong?" My mother-in-law glared at her. "Where have you been?" Rani looked shocked to see me as she looked at me and seen how terrified I was. She said, "Mum G, I was asleep. I've just woken from the noise." My sass looked at Rani. "Well, as you have been sleeping like a Maharani queen, let me show your Dharani's younger brother-in-law's wives dishonourable things. Lucky very well knows no one is here. Amrit's grandma's gone round Himmat's house. Your father-in-law and Roshi are out, and as Amrit's away, she's been having a ball with God knows who, with all her yard, her boyfriends, by the look of it." "Chi, Chi, Chi, have you no shame?" she screamed at me. "Oh God, what will my son say? What will Amrit do?" she screamed. It was like she was on some kind of drugs. Her voice changed. Her facial expressions were like those from the girl from The Exorcist. As I tried to explain, she mentally slapped me in the face so many times like a deranged psychopath. She was like the Terminator. Her hands hit my face at such force and non-stop. As Rani tried to stop her, she yelled, "Mum G, please stop." My mother-in-law's hair came loose like a witch. She took a deep breath and told Rani, "Tell that whore not to answer me back." I lost myself becoming a woman.
Yeah.
I have to say, I lost myself becoming a woman. A woman has to deal with many things, and it is looked at as it's dead easy, but it's not. Every step a woman takes, everything that she does is looked at, judged at. It's not as simple as it looks, basically. So it wasn't easy. That's all I'm going to say. It wasn't easy at all. No. Since then, I've heard people are doing it now. They're making their sons' boyfriends parade around like a woman in the society and stuff, and nobody's actually clicking on that it is a woman, that it is a man. So it is happening. People aren't aware of it, but it is happening. I didn't ever see him as playing the wife role, but I found it difficult the way he changed after marriage.
Yeah.
But it was like his mum changed after marriage. It was like he changed after marriage within weeks. It was like after you say "I do," it was completely different, and it was a shock to the system, basically dealing with all that. Yeah.
How did you react to your wedding photos going viral?
It was quite shocking to see that obviously our personal photos have been going viral, and people are commenting. I think people got the wrong under the stick where they see me dressed as a woman, and obviously I wasn't even in a temple. We were in a civil service in a registry office, but because we were dressed in Asian clothes, everyone just assumed that we got married in a temple, which we didn't. I explained it clearly in the diary because I wanted to understand that we've not taken a step that shouldn't be done. It's a step to become one, and we did it the right way that we felt was the best way. My lip began to bleed and my cheeks began to swell from the harsh beating of slaps my face had taken. My mother-in-law came over and placed a leftover pizza in front of me. Rani looked in horror and held her stomach. My sass walked around me like a terrorist at a dinner table. I was terrified in astonishment from her deranged beating she had just given me. She said, "Lucky," she breathed heavily. "You don't eat pizza, you never have. I'm not going to sit here and listen to your bullshit." My lips started to quiver and the blood and my salted tears dripped. My mother-in-law reached behind her and brought a sharp knife. Rani panicked and said, "Mumji, please." My sass snapped at her and said, "Shut up." She passed the knife across my face slowly to show authority. She placed it down next to me on the bedside on the kitchen table. She walked over the kitchen counter and brought the round masala steel dabba round backs which contained individual spices every Indian home had. As Rani clutched her scarf, my sass chucked out the hot chili powder and salt in massive amounts all over the pizza. I started to cough from the essence of the chili powder. She screamed at me, "Eat it. Eat it all. You need to be taught a lesson. You've gotten away with far too much recently, from poisoning this house to dressing like a whore, and today becoming one." This is happening. Let's deal with it, and let's face it that it is actually happening in our community, and let's help them. Without helping anybody, nobody gets anywhere. So you're making the situation worse, and it makes the person really feel like, I lost my friend, obviously, because he wasn't able to deal with the situation or say to himself, "Yeah, I am gay," or tell his parents. So it was horrible. I think there's more of a population now and more people that are out now, but I don't think the subject has changed or people are reacting to it has changed, because I still know people today going through what I've been through and dealing with situations what I've been through, so I don't think it has changed too much.
Do you see yourself as a feminist?
Now I do, yeah, because dealing with it all, going through it all, touching those subjects and dealing with those subjects, it does make you a feminist, and you've got to stand up for that, and it actually makes you face a lot of things that are happening. So yeah, I do.
How is your relationship with your parents now after what you went through?
It was quite hard, obviously, when they seen how I was when I came back, first of all. They were quite distraught from it because they didn't know what I was dealing with or how I dealt with it and stuff like that. So it knocked them quite a bit, but they remembered that I was still their son. I was their child, so they were like, "That is still my child. I'm gonna obviously go there and take care of what needs to be done." But yeah, now it's more calm than it was before. I'm not gonna say it's easy, but it's more calm, and there's not a lot of hatred, or there's not a lot of misunderstanding now. It's more understanding and dealing with it.
What about your sister-in-laws?
I've still maintained my relationship with them. Obviously the way it ended, as you get to the end of the diary, you can see that it didn't end the way that we thought it'd pan out, as when we all started to mingle together and stuff like that. It didn't do that, but our relationship, because I was always mutual with them and I dealt with a lot and they dealt with a lot with me, we still maintain that today.
What would you say to British Asians trying to come to terms with their own sexuality?
I would say come to peace within yourself first. Dealing with it in yourself is the best thing to do, because you have to deal with it yourself before you can relate to somebody else and explain to them how you're feeling. If you're not going to, you're your biggest obstacle. So dealing with it yourself is the best thing, I would say. Coming to terms with it, and also try and find a solution where find a mutual ground with your parents to tell them the only problem everybody ever has in this world is dealing with your parents and having that blessing to say, "Yeah, you're okay, you're doing this is it." So pleasing them is going to please them, and I'm sure they would want their child to be happy. So try and find that mutual ground to tell them.
Did you expect this kind of reaction to your story?
No, I expected a really bad backlash from it. I didn't expect the messages I received and the love and the support, and I get mums commenting and messaging me and saying, "You've helped me deal with our children." Daughter-in-law saying, "We're not alone. We find solace in what you've done. You've helped us deal with so many things." So I think I wasn't ready for that. I was more taken back from the support that I've got, but obviously I do think it's good that people are accepting the story for what it is. It's helped me deal with the emotions, the scars physically, and everything. It's therapeutic to write everything down, and it made me deal with it in a way that I've been able to help other people, and that's something I'll be able to like say, wow, that is great that I've done that. So yeah, it has helped me quite a lot. Back at the hostel, so many thoughts were going through my mind. One of the things that kept playing on my mind was someone else was lying in my marital bed with the man I love. I kept torturing myself. She is his new wife, his new partner. I kept wondering if he held her as he held me all night, or he kissed her how he kissed me and made love to her as he made to me. My mind and heart were fighting with each other. In my mind, they were both screaming at me, the pain of the loss of Amrit being with someone else. I kept imagining scenarios of Amrit with his new wife, his new partner. It was excruciating. I told myself I knew all his desires and innermost thoughts, and I knew slowly his new wife would learn them too.